Hello everyone, my name is Clara and welcome to the Gaining Clarity podcast. So, I've known I wanted this since last year, but I just never kind of took the action, and now I just decided just do it. Don't wait for it to be perfect, just start, I think that's what a lot of people do. They kind of wait for the perfect moment, they wait for everything to be sort of perfect. I don't know what other word to use other than perfect, right? It's like you gotta have the setup, the mic, the following in order to do something you love, such as start a podcast. But honestly, I don't give a fuck. I'm just gonna speak my truth. I'm gonna speak whatever's on my mind, and hopefully you gain some clarity. That's the whole point of this podcast. I started my spiritual journey about 2 years ago. When I had my awakening, and ever since then I've learned quite a lot, and at some points it feels like my growth is just has been fast forwarded almost, in a way, if that makes sense. I feel like I'm learning so much in such a short amount of time, but then again, I still have so much to learn. One time I actually had a theory, I believe in reincarnation, and what if in my past life I had gotten to a certain point of growth, and since we don't remember our past lives, this next life's mission was to reach an even further goal, so the earlier on I get to the point where I was in my last life, then the sooner I can resume in this life. Does that make sense? Because I feel like I'm pretty young. Let me introduce myself. I'm getting ahead of myself. My name is Clara. I'm 19 years old, but I'm actually turning 20 in basically a month. That's crazy. Oh my god. For so long, people have told me, oh, you're so young and you know so much. You're so young and you're so wise or whatever. And it's I'm gonna turn 20, and then I feel like no one's gonna say that anymore. Even though 20 is still young. But when you say you're 18 or 19, they're like, wow, she's still a child. I'm still a child at 20, I feel like. But it's you're officially entering a new chapter in your life. A new decade. Your 20s are on some different kind of drugs, So yeah, I'm turning 20 in June. I'm a Gemini. I love astrology. My mind is going to be constantly jumping from one thing to another. See how we just went on 2 different tangents? Expect that. I'm a Gemini. I love my Gemini-ness. I love learning about astrology. I've been learning more within the last, I would say, 6 months. Just about reading my own chart, reading other people's charts. I don't know. I think it's so interesting and super informative, and gives you insight as to who the person is or who you are. You know how sometimes people say that they when they get a diagnosis for some kind of mental disorder, right? It helps them identify the feelings that they've been feeling their whole life and why they are the way they are. It kind of helps them understand themselves. That's all we want to do, is be understood and understand ourselves, right? And so astrology kind of is my diagnosis in a way. Every time I look at my chart and I learn something new, I'm just wow, that makes so much sense. I thought there was just something wrong with me, but it's no, it's literally written in the stars. This is just my human construct. I take it all with a grain of salt. Not everything is 100% this is you, so you're gonna be this way and you have to be this way. No. I just read what I read, and I'm okay, yeah, that sounds like me. I take it, I'm cool, and I use it to my advantage as to what I'm gonna do with my life. The Gemini has good leadership qualities. They have this playfulness to them. So what am I gonna do? Inner child, da da da. My head is going oh, how can I use this in my life? It helps me figure shit out in a way. Wait, where did that even come from? Hold on, let me trail back. Oh, I was introducing myself. This is gonna happen often. I have many sides to myself. Sometimes you're gonna get exuberant Clara, high energy Clara. She's gonna be off the walls. You're gonna be what the fuck is wrong with her? But right now you have quiet, wise, old woman Clara. It's 10 a.m. Just woke up like 2 hours ago, so I'm like taking it easy. It's my day off. I'm in my kimono, my old wise woman fit. I'm PMSing. I'm gonna get my period soon, so I'm a little bit more on the fatigued side. I've been really hormonal these last few days. Oh my god. Everything everyone says, I'm just like, can you please just shut up? And I feel so bad because it's like, it's not you, it's me. Because it really is. It's like, there's nothing wrong with what you're saying, but like every word that comes out of your mouth irritates me. It's just like, don't talk to me. I feel so bad because it's like, hey, there's nothing wrong with you and I still love you, but it's just like, don't talk to me for a few days. Oh shit. I just spilled my tea on myself. Good thing it wasn't scorching hot. Okay, good thing it's just water. Whatever, we're gonna leave it there. Oh, it's warm. Can you see that? I'm also, okay, so this is on Spotify and I'm also recording for YouTube, right? So the YouTube side, you see this wet patch right here. Yummy. Yeah, we're just gonna leave it there. That's how I usually handle all my problems in life. Like, if it happens, I just kind of leave it until it goes away. That's not true. That's not all my problems. Just like the ones that aren't that much of an inconvenience. If it doesn't pose a problem, a major problem, I'll just let it be. And then it usually goes away. Oh my camera's about to die. Oh god. Whatever, I'll deal with that whenever it actually does die. See? Avoiding my problems until it becomes a problem. I don't think it was a bad thing though. I think it's just like, I'm gonna call it being present in the moment. Yep, that's what I'm gonna call it. Some people will get anxious, they'll be worrying about like what's about to happen. I'm just like, listen, if it's not a problem right now for me, why should I be stressing about it? And I think that's a beautiful way to live. Just saying. Anyway, back to reintroducing myself, since I went on another tangent there. I'm Clara. I'm 19, turning 20. What are my interests, right? That's what people usually talk about when they meet each other, right? Surface level combos. Well, we'll do a little bit of surface level, because you need to know the basics about me and who I am. But let me give you my chart. I'm a Gemini sun, a Leo moon, and I'm a Virgo rising. In my opinion, that's the best chart. Everything else I'll get into another day, but the big three, I love it. I love it so much. My Gemini sun helps me tap into my inner child, that playfulness. My Leo moon makes me confident, makes everything I do a performance. That's probably the only reason why I talk about my emotions are in front of a camera or with a microphone. But I love the little Leo in me. I love Leos. If you're a Leo, you're automatically my bestie. If you're a Leo man, it'll take me a little time to trust you, because Leo men are sus. My Virgo rising took me a while to figure that one out. I was like, what does this mean? What is a Virgo rising? What the fuck? Right? Because not that I have anything against earth signs, I just think they're really boring. Because like my Gemini-ness and my Leo moon, like, so much like I need to do something, you know, like I love fun, I like doing stuff, I like having fun, I like being playful. And then the earth signs are just so calm and like grounded most of the time. I'm just like, hello, I don't like that. Like, come on, be less boring, you know. And so for a while I was like, Virgo rising, like why did I have to have some earth in there? Like, what does that even mean? But then I learned more about my Virgo rising. I was like, wait, this is actually pretty cool. And it makes so much sense. It helped me understand why I was the way I was. Your rising sign is like what you, not a mask, but how you approach new situations, new people, new environments. It's kind of how other people see you when you're first introduced. That makes sense. And so Virgo rising, like you're shy at first, you have a shell, but then once you like get comfortable with the situation, you kind of open up and you blossom. And I was like, wow, that makes so much sense. Like for so much of my life, I just thought it was like socially awkward or socially anxious, but it's like, no, I just had a Virgo rising and that's just how I am. That's just how I'm built. Like there's nothing wrong with me. It's just the way I am, you know? And it helped me accept that part of myself and kind of just like understand it to the point where I didn't think it was a bad thing. I think that was the best explanation I've done of how astrology helps me. There you go. Because some people are like, oh, are you one of those crazy astrology girls? I'm like, crazy? Dude, just like a diagnosis helps you in the doctor's office, astrology helps me understand myself. Except I don't have to take any drugs. My life is a drug. Period. So that's my chart. I am super into videography, video creation. I started when I was 12. I created a YouTube channel with my best friend Chloe. So I got back into it about a year and a half ago, started adding it as a service and editing for other people, and I was like, okay, great. I know what I'm gonna do. This is my life's purpose. I was like, great. You know how many times I've like come across my life's purpose in the last 2 years? Oh my god, if you think you have it figured out, you don't. So I thought I was gonna do that, and I did do that for like about a year. And then I started to get bored of it, because if you didn't know, us Geminis get bored of things really easily. And aside from that, because I don't like to pin everything on astrology, I just need variety in my life. And also I felt like that wasn't really what I wanted to do. And the Leo moon in me, the performer in me was like, Clara, you know what you want, but you're just like not putting your energy there. And I was like, oh, you're so right. I do know what I want, and I'm just not putting my energy there. And it was YouTube. You know, I started my YouTube channel in April or March of 2021, and so it's been a year, and I just hit 100 like a few weeks ago, because I had been so inconsistent with it and wasn't posting and really wasn't taking it seriously. It was just kind of like a thing I did on the side, but you know, I really do love it. Like, it's what I want to do. I want to make videos. I want to inspire people through videos. I think I'm a really good speaker, and I'm really inspirational. And I have a lot to say. When I learn something profound, I just want to share it and inspire others and teach others. Because I think so many of us need guidance and feel so lost, or don't know how to handle their experience, their feelings about certain situations. Oh my god, is this making sense? I don't even know. And so, for me, I feel like I have like a different approach to learning new things. I just think I can give a fresh new perspective. Period. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to drag this out any longer. So that's why I decided to go to YouTube. And plus, it gives me a creative outlet. YouTube offers me so much. And it's like everything I want in like a little bundle. Community, creativity, leadership, video creation, etc. It's a beautiful platform. And it just feels so nice to see like things manifesting after taking action. And that's a big lesson that I've learned within the last 2 months, is that you can't get what you want if you don't take action. Like, the whole point of manifesting is, yeah, sure, your thoughts can manifest into your reality, blah, blah, blah. That's what people say, but how are your thoughts going to manifest in reality if you're just sitting on the couch all day? How are you going to get the job of your dreams? How are you going to get the partner of your dreams if you're just cooped up in one spot all your life? If you're not out there doing things to help the universe give you what you want, they can give you what you want. You just gotta give her a little help. You know, just prove to her that you really want it. And that was my mistake. I was also like a little bit depressed. So I didn't want to take any action. But I was also just like really confused. And I also feel like I was really burnt out. Burnt out, depressed, confused. Oh my god, I have a really good episode talking about post-travel depression. As many of you may or may not know, I went to Hawaii in April or March for 2 months, and it was a life transforming experience. I thought I knew so much. I thought I figured life out, as I do every 2 to 3 weeks. I love the birds chirping. They sound so great. Do you hear that? Beautiful. And, you know, afterwards I came home and I thought I was just going to stay home for like a month or something and travel, but then that didn't happen. And I learned so much from not only the experience of being in Hawaii, but coming home from Hawaii and staying at home. And I noticed 2 other people in my life went through the same thing, and I'm sure so many other people go through it. And I wanted to talk about it because I was like, wait, this is something that happens. And that's kind of what I want this podcast to be. It's like, you're not alone in your experiences. Guess what? Other people are going through it too. You're not crazy. You have support. Support is like the number one thing we need, especially if we didn't get it from our family. Our inner child just wants support. They want to be seen. They want to be heard. They want to be understood. And so that's kind of like, I want this podcast to also be an outlet for that. It's just like, hey, you're not alone. These things happen, but you're going to get through it. I'm the living proof. I got through it. So much has happened within the last year. It's crazy how much can change in 1 year. Absolutely crazy. I got chills thinking about that. But back to me reintroducing myself for the 3rd time. Where was I? So, videography, that's another one of my passions. I really love art. If you couldn't tell, this is one of my paintings I've done for the YouTube watchers. I have had like an artist awakening as well within the last year and just started painting more often. I do at least 1 painting a month, I would say. So I don't do it like too often, but I feel like if I did it more, then it would just feel forced. Creativity can't be forced. Like it just kind of has to come to me. So usually around the time when I start menstruating, I will sit down and I will start a painting. And my period paintings are fucking beautiful. Like the creations I come up with. This one right here was a period painting. And it's so multi-dimensional. I spent 30 minutes just staring at it one time. Like there's so much going on. Yeah. Art is art. I mean, if you have ever tapped into your artistic abilities, you know how it's just a different feeling. You you find a different part of yourself, It's amazing. So much can be accessed through art, whether it's painting or video or singing or writing, dancing. So much. I can't even think of all the things. Fashion is art. Cooking is art. Everything is art. But yeah, artist awakening has changed so much for me. I've discovered that my creative ability kind of fuels the way I live in some ways. Like I really just see everything as art now. Like beforehand, I was just like, okay, cool. I feel like really tapping into me as an artist has allowed so many new parts of me to come alive and become comfortable with those parts of me. One day I need to do a room tour on YouTube, but I manifested my room by simply just becoming who I wanted to be or finding myself and then applying it to my room. Like, this is seriously like something my inner child always wanted. It just looks like a playful space and a happy place to be. And I love being in here. I used to hate being in my room. I used to hate my room so much. It was so sad and depressing. There was nothing on the walls. My bed was on the floor. Like, it was just bad. And slowly as I started adding each element, I was just like, wow, like I love spending time in here. It's so bright and colorful and playful. And it's just a space that I want to be in. And I created that space for myself. And I'm happy about it. Makes me feel nice to be in here. Like, literally my inner child feels nurtured in here. It's nice. I was afraid that I wouldn't have anything to talk about. I thought I was just going to do like a quick introduction, like do like a quick 10-minute podcast episode for the first one. But that's never the case. Air sign, we know how to talk a lot. Although lately I feel like I haven't been talking that much. Then again, how could I know? But I feel like I've been listening more than speaking. And I noticed that, like, when I'm with other people, I've been practicing my listening abilities and, like, active listening. And listening goes more than just, like, being there and, like, nodding your head and then giving feedback or, like, proving you're listening. Listening is truly like digesting what this person is saying and being that space for them to share. Because most of the time when people speak to you, they're not looking for a solution. They're not looking for advice. They simply just want someone to hear them out. They need some place to let go of what they've been holding on to. They need to express themselves. And when you learn to actively listen, you kind of make that for yourself. And I've found myself sort of naturally like, maybe I'll answer them in my own head, or I'll try to give them advice in my own head. And then I'll think about it really quickly, like if I should tell them what I'm thinking, like the advice. And then I'm just like, you know what? They need to figure that out for themselves. Like, I can say this, but it won't matter if they don't believe it. They need to see it for themselves. All I can do is ask them questions to get to the answer that they want to find or that they need to find. If I outright tell them the answer, they're just going to brush it off. It might go in through one ear and out the other. But if I ask them those questions, it might help them make a revelation. And, oh my God, my listening abilities have improved greatly. People be telling me so many things. I'm just like, girl, why are you trusting me with this information? I mean, I love it. I love it. I love it. Love it. I love the drama. Please tell me everything. Please tell me all. Only person I have to tell it to is Chloe. Although I feel like I don't really tell her all the drama because she doesn't know most of the people that I get this drama from. But if there is something juicy, I will tell her. My number one fear is being boring. It sounds like a dumb fear, but as someone who loves interesting things, interesting people, colorful, bright, fun, I think that, like, in order to be liked, that I need to be interesting in some ways. In order for people to pay attention to me, in order for people to love me, I have to be an interesting person. I need to just be at 100 all the time. That's what it is. I think I need to be at 100 all the time. And right now, I'm not at 100 in my exuberant self. I feel very mellow today. Whew. I woke up and I got like 9 hours of sleep for the first time in weeks. And I felt super tired, even after getting 9 hours of sleep. Because my body is just used to like the 5 to 6 that I would get, which is not good. I usually strive for 7, 8, 9. But Shawty has a job. She has 2 jobs. So it's not always easy. It's hard to fall asleep at 8 p.m. when you have to wake up at 4 a.m. But I guess I just need to train my body, but a lot of components go into it. I'm not going to get into that right now. I'm going to read a poem for you. Because I just looked over to my right and it's on my wall. And I feel like more people need to hear this. So if you're listening on the podcast, you wouldn't know about this. But if you're watching on YouTube, you might know about this. I recently had a 100 subscriber special on my YouTube channel. By the way, my YouTube channel is digitalklara. I love how I just haven't promoted myself anywhere, anytime. And this is supposed to be like the introduction episode. It's fine. So let me read this poem for you. 100 subscriber special, right? And I decided to do a 100-word poem. Here we go. I'm going to read it for you. 100 new friends. What can I say? Here's my chance to say hey. When I first sought out this artistic venture, I thought, would it go far? I was unsure. Every video I make is an all-time high. The filming, the editing, even when it's time to say goodbye. I'm so grateful for the outlet in which me and my 100 friends can hang. Let's be real, I'm in love with the whole shebang. The one person I have to thank is myself. For if I hadn't committed, this channel might as well be some dust on a shelf. Mic drop. Bars. This first episode was like a perfect representation of me. I just went from one thing to another. I gave you like a little bit about me, and in future episodes where I'm going to kind of talk about, oh my god, I should probably have talked about that, is what this podcast is fucking about. But now we're about 30 minutes in, and I doubt anyone's gonna come to the end to listen to what this podcast is about. But if you're at this point, congratulations. And also, thank you. I appreciate you and I love you. And if you're at this point, here's what this podcast is about. Spirituality, self-improvement, self-growth, self-help, sharing of knowledge, talking about topics that you can definitely relate to. You know what? Let me read a few topics I have, actually. I've written down a few ideas, and it'll give you a good idea of what I want to talk about. Notes app. Podcast episode ideas. So, number 1. Post-travel depression. Going from bliss and knowledge to quote-unquote old ways. Weight gain and self-acceptance. Oh, yes. We're going to talk about self-love and self-acceptance. That's a topic I'm very passionate about. I'm still on a journey, and I will be until the rest of my life, but this journey has been an interesting one. And I would love to share the things I've learned with other people out there, especially young girls, girls my age, older women, my dreams and aspirations. I think that one was... What the fuck was that about? I think that one was just about, like, me talking about what I want from life and dreaming big and kind of just speaking it into a microphone to manifest it. Self-discovery. That kind of ties in. Yeah, self-discovery. I think that's a really great topic, actually, because especially at this age, 20s, once you hit 18, I feel like the world just changes around you. Ooh, this one's pretty interesting. Pretty privilege. Again, with the self-acceptance and self-love. I have a few things to say about pretty privilege, and I think it's a really interesting topic. And lastly, how my spirituality has evolved. Because I think that's a really interesting story. Like, it truly has gone from, like, thinking I know everything and being kind of a bitch about it to everyone to kind of humbling myself and only sharing what I learn with a select amount of people. I'm very careful about what I say these days. I used to kind of just, like, share everything that I learned and be like, oh, don't do this or do that or da-da-da-da. But now I've kind of calmed down and I'm just like, I don't need to tell everyone what I've learned. Not everyone is going to either appreciate it or understand what you have to say. And I feel like I'm just doing a disservice to myself if I share everything I learn. It's like it drains ya. It drains ya. Oh my god, I just had an idea to get poke for lunch. It just popped up in my mind. Dude, these fucking period cravings. It's so hard because, like, I feel so shitty about myself. I'm just like, oh, you fat fuck. Don't eat that much. But then I'm also like, it's like the angel and the devil on my shoulders. Like, one side is just like, you know what? Have those cravings, you know, nothing bad is gonna happen. Your body isn't gonna drastically change. If you have, like, a little bit more than you usually do, like, it's okay. Your body is going through this. And then the devil on my shoulder is like, nah, you look disgusting. You look gross. Like, you're not worthy of love. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I think I just need to wash my hair. Usually when I feel gross about myself, I just wash my hair and then I feel pretty again. I'm gonna wrap this up now, before I go on to another tangent. I hope you learned what this podcast was about. It's about me being a Gemini, and that's it. This should be called the Gemini podcast or something. Gaining Clarity just doesn't feel fitting because I'm gonna be talking about so many things. I have a podcast episode coming out with Chloe where we talk about poop half the time. All right, so Gaining Clarity, don't know if that's very fitting. I mean, you could gain some clarity if you have a really nice shit, but anyway, hope you guys enjoy this episode, and I'll see you, or I guess I won't see you if you're listening to this. I'll see you in the next episode, and yeah, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Digital Klara. Subscribe to this podcast. Not that I know how that fucking works. Rate it, comment. I don't know. How do podcasts work? YouTube, you know what to do. Podcasters, you take over for me. Just spoil me with love, and I'll give you the love back. All right. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.